Let's jump to the story from the Post Millennial. Kamala's campaign demands seated debate with notes for September 10th ABC event report. Okay, I didn't believe it when I heard the news because this was one of those when Trump was going to debate Biden. They were like, Biden's claiming he wants to be sitting down. And the media was like, no, that's not true. He doesn't want to sit down. Kamala does. She can't stand up for that long. What is she not capable of standing? I don't get it.
Jason Miller said that this is what the campaign wants. And Kamala's campaign was like, no, we didn't say that.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
But they also said that the rules for the debate are in flux and that they haven't come to any determinations about that. They do want to have hot mics because they are hoping to catch Donald Trump saying something.
But I thought
the news is that, real quick, the news is that Trump's campaign is
Miller
claiming.
Told Politico that the Kamala Harris campaign wants to sit down and have notes during the debate.
And they're denying that.
And the Kamala's campaign is denying that.
Oh, so it's nothing then.
It could go either way. Yeah.
Well, the rumor now is that Trump is saying he doesn't want to do the debate because of the bias from the panel. And what I think Donna Brazile is going to be on it. Is that the case?
I saw that there were two hosts, but I didn't see who the panel was.
So not her. We have this one from also Post Millennial. ABC head is Biden appointee, close friends with Kamala, and set her up with Doug Emhoff.
Yeah, I was just talking about that.
So I can certainly understand why Trump's going to be like, what is this?
Well, and Harris won't agree to any of the other debates. They claim that Fox is too biased, but ABC is literally run by one of her best friends who set her up with her husband and who's been appointed by Joe Biden.
Right, and who's gotten several major Biden administration exclusives.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I find true. When Fox offered this, I think it was supposed to be September 17th as an alternative date, they would host the debate. I thought it was so strange that the reaction was like Trump's running away from pre-agreed upon debate. Sure, he agreed to debate on ABC with Biden on September 10th. Biden, do you remember that guy? I know that the Harris campaign has forgotten about him, but
maybe they shouldn't have agreed to the June debate.
So this was a quote.
Like a setup.
A quote from Trump. He said, quote, will panelist Donna Brazile give the questions to the Marxist candidate like she did for crooked Hillary Clinton? Will Kamala's best friend who heads up ABC do likewise? Where is little George Slopadopoulos hanging out now? Will he be involved? Trump wrote referring to George Stephanopoulos. What did George Slopadopoulos? Yeah. So I don't know if she's actually expected to be. She's a contributor. I think Trump's just saying that Brazile gave the questions to Hillary Clinton last time, so he doesn't trust ABC News this time.
Which why? I mean, you'd think that ABC News would probably prep Kamala Harris for this, just like they would prep her for any kind of long form interview.
Right, which she still hasn't given. She said
scheduled.
She said we'd get one by the end of August, but that's slowly creeping up on us, and there's no rumor that there's going to be anything from her. I think it's interesting that she, I think maybe the Trump campaign shouldn't have agreed to a September ABC debate. I'm not saying no September, but there should have been a different network. But at the time, they thought it was going to be Biden all the way through, and it didn't matter what, no network could have covered up the state that Biden was in. That's why the first debate went so badly. I think it's just arrogance on the part of the Harris campaign to say, oh, well, we're the new campaign, so you can't, this contract is still valid. It's a completely different agreement when it's a different candidate.
I agree. And who comes to a fight and sits down? Look, you stand and fight. That is what you do. And moreover, who has ever gone to a debate with Donald Trump and come out unscathed? He's not the type of guy to run from a fight. I do think that there should be people there from all the networks. You have 3 moderators, right? Fox, CNN, and whoever else. One network should not monopolize it. We've seen how unfair and how unjust that can be. It should be fair. It should be square. That's not what it is, and I guess we'll have to see what happens.
I don't think Harris wants to sit down. Sit down. I think that's fake news. I think it's a political attack. It's always a political attack because why would anyone weaken themselves by just coming out and saying they want to sit down?
Okay, see, I was thinking maybe she wants to sit down so you get that because she's playing up the fact that she's a prosecutor. Like she's sitting at the table for the people and he's sitting like he's a defendant. Like to create that sort of image.
That's a good point.
Or height privilege.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trump is a lot taller
than she is. She's very
okay. So
very
that's
short.
plausible actually, and now they're being forced to deny it because Miller went public with it. That
could be a thing.
Yeah, that's plausible.
And the notes could be a thing as well because she doesn't seem to remember anything other than her
height matters,
upbringing, and the color of her skin.
Yeah. Since television era, our presidents have been getting taller.
Yeah.
because height really does convey some kind of, it triggers some kind of emotional response in people.
Yeah, it'd be tough for Greg Abbott.
Yeah.
Well, even when she walked on stage with Walls one of the first times, I remember seeing the video and being like, she's just actually overshadowed. She doesn't. She doesn't.
Isn't she like 5 foot tall or something?
Maybe something. She's petite, and I don't hold that against her. But it's just there are women who have a really commanding stage presence, and she's just not one of them.
She doesn't exude leadership. When you think about like a small, petite woman who was in like a position of power and who was probably a little bit intimidating, Justice Ginsburg, right? I disagree with the politics, right?
Definitely a little intimidating, though.
Yeah, you look at her, you're like, oh, wow, okay. But Harris is the polar opposite. She's just like, I'm here for
Tulsi
the,
Gabbard's
for the
not
balloons.
like super tall. She's like
I think
about my height.
I think she's great.
But she's great.
Yeah,
She
she's
exudes
fantastic.
definitely leadership. Yeah.
Do you think that Kamala's going to lean on her feminist prosecutor image that she's sort of trying to create from herself right now when she goes to this debate, or do you think that she'll try and come up with a new strategy?
I think she has to lean on it. I mean, she's going to call Trump a felon. She's going to say she's a prosecutor and she put guys like him away and blah, 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 blah. She'd be foolish not to. So
is that going to work?
It's a good question, and it could backfire, right? Because a lot of people know that the system is weaponized, especially against Trump, that his convictions are crap. So hopefully not.
I was thinking this hot mic thing is actually not a good move. Like, she's thinking that Trump will just be like making all these side comments, but
it would be the best.
If I could be misremembering, but I felt like there weren't that many side comments from Trump in the muted debate. Like when he was debating Biden, he kept it pretty cool. And I felt like it was Biden who was sort of making like rambling statements.
That could be because it was muted.
But then like he has the discipline to do it, right? Like they would have these two shots of them, their mics are muted, but you don't see Trump's mouth moving.
I will take Trump on a hot mic all day. It's always gold.
It is. It's not usually that bad. Also, the Kamala's campaign apparently said that they would be glad to speak contemporaneously with Trump on a hot mic, like to address the things he said, because she wants to do a whole like I'm speaking thing.
Oh,
She wants to like lean into her identity and get some like Southern black accent going somehow.
Well, when she faced
Oh yeah, real quick. Sorry. Someone pointed out that Harris debated Pence sitting down at desks. That's it with notes. She did.
She did.
She did.
How about
Yeah.
that?
You just look up the I'll pull up the pictures. Yeah. There's just.
Well, this is not the
maybe-
JV debate.
and that's when she accused Pence of like interrupting her. That's where we get
Yeah.
this I'm speaking thing from. I mean,
Yeah.
she is trying to make it so that Trump seems like
Yeah,
a
there you go.
man.
Yeah, I compared.
They were sitting at desks with notes.
I compared her wanting to have notes to an open book test in a freshman year lecture class.
Oh, so now I definitely think the story's real, and they're just trying to downplay it because it was embarrassing for them.
It definitely seems embarrassing. Yeah.
Stand and fight. Stand and be heard.
Yep.
What is this?
Sitting at desks with notes.
And before, when they were scheduling this with Biden, I think the Trump campaign, and Trump's kind of referenced this in some of his more recent speeches, they were like, the Biden campaign gave us options because they assumed we would say no. So we said yes to everything because we just knew we could handle it. And I think now it's totally fair for the Trump campaign to be like, no, I don't want to sit at a desk.
Right.
Stand up. Like, we're going to stand this whole time.
Stand.
I think that if she's really going to show up for this debate, it shouldn't be on her terms the way it had to be with Biden. Biden was going to collapse anyways. I think she should not have to get this like inherited upper hand that she seems to think she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. Biden collapses. Trump gets shot. While he's on his feet and he's still here.
Yeah.
A funny world.
We have someone should keep track, maybe a spreadsheet or a tally of the historical events that have happened in this year alone. And then maybe you do the past 2 years, then 3, then 4. And we can just count and then, wow. Time's moving real quick. I blame the internet.
It's all historic.
Yeah.
It's historic, like Kamala's candidacy and Trans Day of Visibility being on Easter.
Oh,
and
man.
Historic gains of the Biden administration's climate initiative under something called the Inflation Reduction Act, which was really just that was historic climate change legislation.
Yeah.
Massive spending to reduce inflation.
What do you think the legacy of the Biden administration will be?
I think he's going to be easily forgotten like George W. Bush.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, like put on your sweater.
Hopefully not
turn down the
Buchanan.
heat. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah.
They seem like they're kind of throwing out these last minute initiatives. Like he's announced a new environmental thing. He's apparently taken a more strong position on the ceasefire, or like trying to like.
He hasn't done anything.
Okay.
He has nothing on his
anything.
schedule this week. That's another thing we covered today. He has nothing on his schedule at all.
Well, he doesn't have a country to run,
He's
just
well, he
hanging out.
doesn't. He doesn't have any. Yeah, he's not running anything. And you wonder, like, who's making all of these decisions? Is Antony Blinken effectively running the country right now?
Terrifying thought.
Kamala Harris isn't doing it. She's out there experiencing joy and sharing euphoria with the nation. So who's in charge?
Yes.
Democrats
Deep
don't
state.
think anybody needs to be in charge. They just think that the bureaucracy needs to be in charge, or like they said during the
party.
They think the government organs need to be in charge, as RFK would say.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.